One day the messages start coming slower. The energy that once felt alive suddenly turns quiet. You wait, stare at your phone, tell yourself they're probably busy. But deep down, something in your chest already knows. The truth doesn't crash down like a storm. It drifts in silently in the form of shorter replies, colder eyes, and the feeling that you're now the only one holding on. You ask yourself, did I do something wrong? But what if you didn't? What if their silence isn't rejection, but reflection of a change that began long before you noticed? Sometimes people leave long before they actually walk away. People don't lose interest overnight. It's not a single fight or one wrong word that makes them fade. It's the gradual erosion of attention, a slow untying of emotional threads. It begins with one missed call, one conversation that feels forced, one hug that feels routine. Their heart starts craving something they can't name. I just need some space, they say. But space becomes distance, and distance becomes goodbye. The truth is, emotional connection requires energy. And when that energy fades, even love feels heavy. It's not that you weren't enough. It's that familiarity replaced curiosity. They stopped discovering you. And in that silence, something fragile broke. In the beginning, your effort amazed them. The late-night calls, the small surprises, the way you made them feel seen. It all felt new. But over time, those gestures became background noise. What once lit them up now feels ordinary. You've changed, they say, not realizing that it's not you who changed, but their attention that shifted. Effort became expectation. The magic that once connected you now feels transactional. You start to pull back, hoping they'll notice, but they don't. You're trapped between wanting to try harder and knowing it won't matter. The worst part? You can't tell when appreciation turned into habit. When your heart became part of their routine instead of their reason. Sometimes the truth isn't about you at all. Some people lose interest, not because you did something wrong, but because they never valued themselves enough to maintain something deep. You can't love someone into loving themselves. You can pour your heart out, hold their pain, and try to heal them. But if they don't see their own worth, your love becomes a mirror reflecting what they lack. If I'm not enough for me, they whisper, how can I be enough for you? That's the tragedy of connection. You can offer everything and still they'll feel empty. When someone doesn't value themselves, they can't sustain value for anyone else. And sometimes loving them means understanding you can't fix what's not yours to heal. You always feel the distance before it's spoken. Their eyes look the same, but they stop looking at you. Their voice still sounds warm, but the words lose color. You sense it, the quiet drift. I just need time, they whisper, and even though you nod, your heart already knows. You start replaying old memories like reruns of a show you once loved but can't watch anymore without feeling a sting. Silence grows between you, not from anger but from exhaustion. They don't leave with a bang. They fade like smoke. And the scariest part is how normal it starts to feel. You don't cry immediately, you just stop expecting. Sometimes they didn't lose interest in you. They just weren't ready for your depth. You spoke in feelings. They spoke in distractions. You wanted to dive deeper. They were content staying on the surface. Emotional mismatch isn't about love, it's about capacity. You wanted a soul, the voice inside you says. They wanted comfort. Some people fall for how you make them feel, not for who you are. They love your warmth but fear your fire. They crave your energy but can't carry its weight. That's not your fault. It's the natural separation between those who seek connection and those who seek escape. And maybe, just maybe, you were never meant to be understood by someone still figuring out how to understand themselves. Healing doesn't mean forgetting them. It means remembering yourself, the version of you that laughed without waiting for a reply, the one who didn't measure worth by attention. I'm learning to love my own silence, you whisper, realizing it's not emptiness, it's peace. You start doing small things again just for you, reading, walking, breathing. The ache doesn't disappear overnight, but it transforms. You realize that moving on isn't about replacing them. It's about rebuilding the parts of you that got lost in trying to be enough. In every goodbye, there's a quiet invitation to return home, to your own heart. When you finally stop chasing what left, you start attracting what's meant. That's the harsh truth and the beautiful one. Losing them wasn't punishment. It was redirection. The pain you felt was clearing space for something real, not just love from another person, but peace from within. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone who couldn't see it. You just need to stand in it. I finally understand, you whisper to yourself. It had to end for me to begin. Because sometimes closure doesn't come from them. It comes from the moment you stop asking why and start living as if you already know. Share this with someone who still blames themselves for being too much. Maybe they'll realize they were never too much. They were just giving everything to someone who wasn't ready to receive it.